for the benchmarks, given up the 11,900 mark as well. But it's interesting to know that the Nifty Bank continues to surge in trade, and we are on Market Fatafat going to identify such individual movers and shakers over the course of the next 30 minutes. So to do that, we have with us Nirav Chheda of Nirmal Bang Securities to talk to us about the technicals, and from our research team, Pranay and Soumya. So good afternoon to all of you. Thank you for joining in. And Nirav, let me go across to you first. A great bit of outperformance seen in the Nifty Bank, and more particularly in the Nifty PSU Banking Index, which has certainly once again dominated the rally. So anything that you're observing, do you think this rally can continue?
Yeah, definitely it should continue. I believe, Nifty Bank has remained a laggard, during, the tax cut time, 2 weeks back. Bank Nifty had made a high of around 30,800, while Nifty had made a high of around 11,600 odd. Nifty's breached that, and it is, within touching distance of all-time highs, but Bank Nifty hasn't been able to breach it. So definitely, I believe Bank Nifty can move up. Another thing here is the rollovers. Rollovers have been pretty less as compared to the other months, and with 8-9 lakhs of rollovers, there is not much space from here for Bank Nifty to come down. So there is only incremental increase in open interest which Bank Nifty can see, and there is going to be a certain amount of buying which is going to come in. The trend also is positive, so I believe Bank Nifty is definitely going upwards. It can reach 30,800, 31,000 odd levels. So buy Bank Nifty. A good stop loss for the same should be around 29,800 on the cash levels.
Okay, 31,000 is a target for the Nifty Bank. And speaking of banking names, another stock that is buzzing is Instant Bank. Pranay, what's the news flow here?
Well, last evening it was updated on the exchanges that the bank has finalized its potential candidate to succeed as MD and CEO Softi, April 2020 onwards. So in the next few days, maybe maximum a month, that name will be disclosed on the exchanges. And we saw a 3% kind of up move in Instant Bank yesterday as well, when all the other banks were doing well, and that has continued today after this news.
Yes, a massive rally seen in an Instant Bank today in trade. Moving on to a result candidate, and that's IOC. Look at the way the stock is tanking. It's one of the few Nifty losers, but that's really the case with the other OMCs as well. HPCL, BPCL too are losing in trade. Now, if you look at the second quarter numbers, I think the key miss was the refining margins. Really underperformed, especially if you have to compare to an RIL. Now, UBS has maintained a buy, target at 200 rupees, as they believe that the focus back on the IMO upside. Nomura too has a buy, but they as well have flagged off the key miss that has come in the form of refining margins, as well as the fact that the BPCL books showed a large forex loss. This is something that's a particular discomfort for Nomura. Nevertheless, they still too have a buy yet. Okay, stock number 4 meantime is Cochin Shipyard. That stock is rallying, and how? Soumya, what's the trigger?
Well, Mubina, this one's flying higher on back of an order win. They have signed a contract for aircraft carriers for the Indian Navy, and this order is expected to be valued at around or more than 3,000 crore. And this is particularly what's keeping the stock buzzing in trade today, which was higher by over 6% in trade today. That's Cochin Shipyard for you at 413 rupees. Let's talk about escorts then, and the October sale numbers. 13,353 units is where this one has clocked in, and we also do have additionally the ET now poll that we should compare it with. Now that's come in at 10,700 units, so it's definitely outperformed compared to what the ET now expectation was, and you are seeing a minor uptick come by in the stock price. Okay, moving on, Nirav, let's talk about Dr. Reddy's. What exactly is it then that you're observing in terms of the technicals, especially after there was a sharp surge in the stock immediately after the second quarter numbers, and subsequently a drop as well? So what are you observing here?
Yeah, See, definitely what I expected. There is a strong resistance around the 28.45 odd levels. The stock is sideways, so should not fall much, but should not rise much as well. What is happening is from the last few weeks, it is in a sideways trend, and only if it crosses 28.45 level, only then higher top, higher bottom formation will be confirmed. Till then, there is no call on Dr. Reddy. If someone wants to trade on the pharma, definitely I believe, Cadila is a better stock at this moment above its breakout. So one can buy Cadila with a stop loss of around 245 odd, and it can reach around 275, 280 odd.
Okay, that's stock number 6 for you, Dr. Reddy's, and a recommendation from Nirav. Pranay, of course, one noteworthy stock is Laurus Labs, a very strong quarter, and that's reflective in the way the stock's moving, volume activity as well.
Well, yes, strong set of results all round. Revenue has grown by 21% year on year. EBITDA has jumped up 82%, and as a result, the profit is up over 3.5 times. So strong results, very good contribution coming in from the formulations division, and margins also staying pretty good. And as a result, it's one of the earnings amakas of this season when it comes to the mid-cap performance.
Let's just take a quick look at the RWI small case and see what that one's up to as we speak. Is there a significant move in the needle over there as the Nifty and the Sensex, just as we speak, slip into the red? Well, absolutely flat, so nothing significant to talk about over there either. 568 for the RWI small case with a bit of green seen on the screen. And we'll take a very quick break on the show. Do come right back for this countdown of stocks and news.
In association with Glenfiddich, challengers welcome artists in residence.
मुझे कच्ची लपण थी बनेली चीजें के ही त्योहार में मली वही जग्या अंजे घर जी भते थे ते मुझो त्योहार बनी वियो हजी वडो आभार. ह्या सणाला तुमचे जितके ऑर्डर्स वाढल्या तितका आनंद माझ्या कुटुंबाला मिळाला. खूप धन्यवाद.
பண்டிகை காலத்துல உங்க ஆர்டரை டெலிவர் பண்ணும்போது உங்க முகத்துல ஒரு புன்னகைய பாக்குறேன். அந்த ஆர்டர்ஸ் காரணமா இன்னைக்கு எங்க குடும்பமே புன்னகைக்கிறாங்க, பெருமையோட பண்டிகையும் கொண்டாடுறாங்க. நன்றிங்க.
इस त्योहार आपकी वजह से हमारे जैसे लाखों लोगों की जिंदगी में आई खुशी और हमारे त्योहार में बढ़ी रौनक. थैंक यू.
Calling risk takers mavericks and those who make their own path. Come pitch to a jury comprising of India Inc.'s biggest investors and business tycoons and stand the chance to win funding and mentoring from global leaders. Leaders of Tomorrow presents The Winning Pitch, brought to you by Vadvani Foundation. We are coming to the 4 zones across the country, and our first stop is Mumbai in the Western Zone. Come be a part of this epic journey. Rush in your entries now.
Presented by IDFC First Bank. Co-presented by Vadvani Foundation. Knowledge partner OddUp. Software partner Zoho.
Welcome back. You're watching Market Fatafat on ET now. Let's continue with the countdown. Soumya, Spandana Spurti, big surge seen in this one right from the IPO time. What exactly did the second quarter numbers suggest?
Well, Mobina, despite a tough quarter for the entire NBFC sector, the entire microfinance institutions were able to report healthy set of numbers, with Spandana Spurti also reporting good set of numbers. Their NII grew by over 57% on a YOY basis. The profit growth was at around 113%, adjusted for one-time impact of DTA tax impact. Not just that, their disbursements also grew by over 45%, and gross loan portfolio also saw a really robust growth of over 10%. Margins they were able to expand their margins by over 250 basis points. So in overall, they had a really good set of numbers, with asset quality also staying pristine.
Okay, that's Spandana Spurti, 8.3% higher. Okay, we have another stock that's losing, and this one is NMDC. Now today the metal stocks are a bit all over the place, no exact trend seen over there, but this one is losing. That's one of the few stocks that's losing. A possible reaction, a possible reason why could be could be the fact that spot Chinese iron ore prices have hit the lowest since 12th of March. That's at $85 per ton. This happened yesterday, and you know that losing streak continues. Now remember that Tangshan as well, which is a province in Hebei, one of the top steel producing countries, is expected to impose second level pollution measures starting from Thursday. So let's see, once that comes into implementation, it will obviously lead to steel companies cutting down production. That in turn will also hurt demand for iron ore, which is a key steel making ingredient. NMDC down by approximately 2% odd. Okay, moving on, Nirav, Z Entertainment, the rally continues over here unabated. Yesterday a 7-8% surge, today almost a 10% rally. What are you making of this up move?
Yeah. See, for starters, there is definitely a trend line breakout about 264 odd levels. Coupled with that, yesterday being expiry, you see the rollovers, they were very positive for Z. Lot of shorts have been covered in this rollovers, and that is a positive sign. So I believe it is likely to move up further. It can reach about 300 odd levels, but the 50-day moving average is placed around the 294 odd levels. So that is where a certain amount of profit booking should be done. It has already come up a bit, so you can buy at current levels, and on dips with a stop loss of 264 odd. I believe it can reach 295, 300.
Alright, that's the Entertainment, a surge in this one, and that continues. Pranay, today's Dhamaka results were from Garden Reach Shipbuilders.
And yes, the revenues have doubled thanks to rapid execution on several large contracts. You're seeing the bottom line also rise more than fourfold, thanks to the solid order book of over 27,000 crores that they have, which is, more than 10 times its current market cap. It means that the slate ahead provides enough predictability and visibility for this continued momentum, and that's why the stock is one of the top movers from the mid and small caps, up about 13-14%.
And another big stock with a lot of pricing action is from the auto space, obviously, since it's the 1st of November, and that's Bajaj Auto. Soumya, how were the October sale numbers? Because we are seeing the stock crack. We did see a sharp spike, and then it's of course cooled off.
Well, yes, indeed, the auto sales number were at around 4.63 lakh units, which was slightly better than our expectations of 4.36 lakh units. Having said that, given the entire auto slowdown for this company as well, the total sales dipped or were down by about 9% on a YOY basis and almost 15% on a month-on-month basis. Domestic sales were the ones that witnessed sharper crack by over 13%, and motorcycle sales were also down by 8% on a YOY basis. Well, this is what everyone was expecting as far as the auto sales number is concerned. We were all expecting a down tick when it comes to the sales number. However, this one's slightly better than our expectations on the sales number.
Okay, that is the word then on Bajaj Auto, just a 0.25% of gains over there. Another surge is seen in Motilal Oswal. It's the second straight day that we've seen a lot of pricing action in this financial services major, and so far this week Motilal Oswal's share price has managed to rally more than 10%. In fact, as we speak, the gains are only accelerating. It's now 12% of gains seen over here. Very quickly, Nirav, interesting to note that the telecom and its ancillary stocks are rebounding. One stock that we'd like to talk about in particular is Bharti Infratel, which has become a victim of what's been happening in the telecom space. Anything that you would like to recommend based on this bounce that we are seeing?
Yeah. See, the first thing is, if someone is holding shorts, then definitely one should be covering it at this point of time. Some very good volumes have been witnessed at the lower end, around the 190 odd levels. Coupled with it, the open interest has been at all-time highs. Now, there has been short open interest on this stock. And there's not much space where incremental open interest can be built in, and that is why some covering is likely to come in, which we've seen in today's session. So definitely I believe Infratel will move up further, but there is a strong resistance around the 202 level. So if fresh buyers are waiting, then I believe one should be waiting for a breakout of 202, and once that breakout comes in, keep a stop loss of 192 and buy. I believe 220 to 25 are the levels which can come in Infratel.
Okay, 5% of a surge in Bharti Infratel, but with that we're out of time, so we'll have to wrap it up on this edition of Market Fatafat. Nirav, Pranay, Soumya, thank you for joining in. But before we wrap it up, here's a reminder for all our viewers. As we kickstart our Rise with India Prime Time at 5 p.m. today every evening, we will be first having the Money Show. And here's what we have lined up today. It's the 1st of November, which means all of you may have gotten your salaries. The question is now what to do. Should you just simply spend it all away, or should you ensure that you keep aside a certain amount to save and invest, and of course take advantage of this massive rally that we are seeing in the market? So we'll guide you through what to do with your salary that you have just received on the Money Show. Also, in our Meet Your Fund Manager segment, we will be joined by Mr. Krishna Kumar of Sundaram Mutual Fund to talk about his fund strategies. And finally, it will be December very, very soon, which means it's time for Christmas holidays. Now is the right time to plan for your holiday, because the earlier you book, the better. So we will be bringing on board Travel Triangle to get you through some of the best and unexplored destinations for the upcoming Christmas festival.
Anticipating, touching, seeing, hearing, moving, sweeping, escaping. Everything you get from a sports car. Jaguar XF.
Doctors are the unsung heroes of mankind, and the time has come to honor and felicitate their efforts and the groundbreaking research they do. Presenting Times Health Excellence 2019, an event where some of the most brilliant minds in healthcare share cutting-edge knowledge that is transforming the field of medicine.
These are different diseases. Each of this has a therapy and cure.
Perception is that nearly 50% of the cancers are hereditary, whereas it is not.
Catch the exclusive coverage of Times Health Excellence 2019 at these times, only on ET Now.
Premium Township Partner, Carley Town Centre. Festive Gifting Partner, Lal.
The wheels in motion, we set the fire. You know it's going down. We wanna be legends. We wanna build the stars. We wanna be heroes. Don't you know?
To avail Movies Now, MNX and Ramadi Now at just 10 rupees. Call your cable operator or DTH operator right now.
Investment Ki Pathshala continues its journey to educate Indians about financial awareness by pit stopping at Amity University, Rajasthan, where our experts interacted with the students and faculty of the university.
What are the common myths which come when you invest into equities? Myth is investing is gambling. It's not at all gambling. You are part of an economy which is growing currently at about 5% plus. There are companies which grow above 5%. A fund manager's role is to identify those companies and invest into those companies, and that's what comes through a mutual fund.
It definitely helps students to update their knowledge about, or their information about financial investment.
As a youth, I can save 100, but when I invest it, it can give me a return too. So yes, I would think about investing in the near future.
L&T Mutual Fund presents Investment Ki Pathshala, partnered by ET Now. For more details, visit investmentkipathshala.com.
Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme-related documents carefully.
Quiet day with Nifty hovering around 11,900. Street crashes a breather after a record rally yesterday. Real estate among the top performer. TCS Reliance keeping in gains under check.
festive rush is pushing Motown back in the fast lane. Bajaj's autos monthly sales beat ET Now forecast. Show Cleveland figures, well, they disappoint. CLSA expects most automakers to clock sequential improvements.
Dr. Reddy's in focus after the Q2 numbers beat forecast on all count. Tax credit, one of the key items because of which the bottom line boosted. However, US sales not looking that great.
Shares of Yes Bank under selling pressure after a spectacular rally. The lender's asset quality and margins could worsen in Q2. Street watching out for an update on fundraising.
IndusInd Bank on investors' buy list today. Lenders has finalized the candidate to replace Ramesh Sopti at the helm. Name has been disclosed to RBI, but RBI approval is still awaited.
SEBI tightens NPA disclosure norms, directs listed banks to disclose bad loan divergences within 24 hours of RBI's risk assessment report. Framework comes into force with immediate effect.
Shares of Piramal in focus. South Africa's Salem Group in talks with Ajay Piramal for an additional 8% stake in Shriram Capital. Valuation seen around 18,000 crore. Pegs Ajay Piramal's stake at 14,000 crore. This is a ET exclusive.
German Chancellor Angela Merkel meeting Modi, their fifth one-on-one in a year. As many as 20 agreements on the agenda, packed schedule. Meetings with CEO and business leaders also on the cards. You've tuned into ET now, and this is Markets at Noon. I'm Karanya Rao with Pankaj Podar. Pankaj, markets seem to be taking a bit of a breather.
Yeah, but you cannot complain. Sensex is still above 40,000 levels. Just yesterday we've hit a record high, so 40,077. Nifty down about 12 odd points. Mid cap index is doing well, up about a half odd percent, and the small cap space is up around 0.7 odd percent. So that's looking in on the higher side, or looking in on the positive side. When you look at some of the gainers, some of the losers, the sense that you're getting Dr. Lal Path Labs down 5%, second day in a row looking in weakish. Yes Bank is down 5%, but I mean, yesterday it had a monster rally. So, and also today there are results, so there is an event ahead of which it is looking at. Quest Corp was up around 13% yesterday. It's down around 3% right now. You have a NMDC, Hoodco, Hindustan Zinc, but Karanya, some of these names were rallying really strongly ahead of till today's move. Dish TV, after days of falling, is up 15 odd percent. Motilal Oswal, if I'm not wrong, second day in a row is up close to about 20 odd percent. So that's the sort of move that you've seen on Motilal. Yesterday it was up 8%, today it's up about 12 odd percent. Z is up 8%, 283. You have a Rain Industry which is up close to 6%. Again, after days you're seeing some action in Rain Industries. Cochin Shipyard is looking good, 6%, 413. Ipca Labs, no news flow, up 5%, 1034. And Bharti Infratel, I think it went to the levels of 180 yesterday. It's now at 200. So some volatile moves coming in, but mostly companies that had fallen are seeing some amount of bounce back currently.
But Pankaj, markets are still digesting the numbers for DRL. Can you tell us now how they fared? Because it was not very clear from the press release.
So, it's one-off sort of a quarter where they have a licensing income. Now, definitely it's not a non-operational non-income, but licensing is a part of the business, but it doesn't happen every quarter. And the licensing income that you get straight away goes into EBITDA, because it comes into the sales, there are no expenses, and then it goes into the EBITDA. So that's why, the EBITDA number is looking bumped up, the sales numbers are looking pretty high. And when you just look at the numbers, yes, they are above the estimate, no doubt about it, but it's led by one-off licensing income, as we've been pointing out. This is the reported EBITDA, 1,433 crores versus about 864 crores. It's up about 65% as per the company. US revenues were not that great, down about 13%. India sales 686, and PSAI revenue did become flattish, or did see some signs of stabilizing after a 18% growth. As I told you, the proprietary sales came in at 800 crores, and that was a one-off. It's usually around 100-200 crores, but in this quarter I think they got some revenues booking. But we're still waiting for the management comment. They will be talking to us post the numbers, so we'll get you more details on this licensing income, what happened in US, and are these numbers sustainable or not.
Right. Let's also talk about some more earnings candidates which are buzzing away in trade. Pranay and Soumya both are joining us for earnings dhamaka candidates. Soumya, coming to you first. How exactly were Spandana Spurti's numbers?
Well, Karuna, talking about this one, despite a really tough environment and quarter that the NBFCs faced, the microfinance institutions were able to report healthy numbers, and this time around for Spandana Spurti, well, the profit growth was at around 113% adjusted for one-time DTA impact, and not just this, this was also accompanied by a very healthy NII growth of over 57% on a YOY basis, and also the AUM growth of over 37% compared to the last year. Not just this, in this entire sluggishness and the tough economy, we had disbursements growth of around 45% compared to last year, which really bode well for this company. And in fact, on back of these strong Q2 numbers, we had the stock rallying close to about 6 to 7%, and is currently also trading at the similar levels. Not just this, the asset quality remained pristine with GNPAs at around 0.77%. So in overall, the company reported really healthy set of numbers, and that's really reflective in the kind of stock reactions we're seeing today.
Right, Karuna, thanks for that. Let's also look at Laurus Labs for a bit. Now, when I look at Laurus Labs, sales have come in at around 712 crores. It's looking in a decent sales number. PAT has come in at 56 crores, which is up around 250 odd percent. Now, when you look at the margins, it's come in at 19.3. The estimates was 19.6. So that's the number that we're talking about. The good thing is that formulation sales have gone up by about 50 odd crores. So 160 crore is the formulation number. Estimates were 110, and that's probably the key deliverable because of which the stock is up 3%. Remember, well-known investor Amansa Capital Akash Prakash has recently bought stake. Since then, the stock has been flat, but today it's giving a relief after they have delivered on the numbers led by formulation sales.
Okay, Pranay, real quick then, can you tell us Garden Reach Builders, what was their performance like?
Well, solid growth year on year thanks to rapid execution of several large contracts. Their revenues have actually doubled year on year to about 439 crore rupees. In fact, the company has said that nearly 22 projects are under various stages of construction. So that indicates that this momentum should continue in Q3 and Q4 as well. If you look at the EBITDA or the operating profits, along with strong growth, you've seen operating leverage help the numbers over here. So EBITDA has seen a 3.5x kind of figure. In fact, the margins also have added about 800 basis points from same quarter last year to over 19% plus. And therefore, all of this is nicely trickled into the bottom line, which is seen a fourfold plus kind of jump year on year. And therefore, it's one of the best performers from the mid-tier pack right now, and surely an earnings dhamaka.
All right, thanks guys, Pranay as well as Soumya for joining us with earnings dhamaka. But let's quickly talk about Maruti's numbers as well, flashing at the bottom of your screens. 1.53 lakhs worth of units have been delivered in the month gone by. It's definitely slightly below what we were expecting at ET now. 1.7 lakhs was expected. So it's below that number. However, the good news is that the festive season clearly seems to have done very well for the company. On a year-on-year basis as well, one of the few companies to post a growth of, albeit a small margin of 4.5%, but still some green shoots clearly being visible, some bottoming out of demand as well that the company has been talking about finally seems to have, shown some results, but we don't know whether it can be called a recovery or not because this was a festive month and festive season momentum has spurred the demand. But segment-wise, I think mini segment, which comprises of Alto, Espresso, Old Wagoner, that continues to be weak, and even the Ciaz has not seen any demand growth. In fact, it's down by nearly 39 odd percent. What has done well, on the other hand, is is segments like the overall domestic sales, the compact segment like WagonR, New One, Celerio, Ignis, Swift, Baleno. So the compact segment clearly has done well for the company this time around, and so has Gypsy, Ertiga, Vitara, etc. The UV segment, which continues to do well for the company. Overall, while it is slightly disappointing, it's not definitely any negative surprises. The stock is also trading with some modest gains right now. It's up by half a percent on.
Right, Karunya. So that's Maruti, and we'll keep getting you all the numbers as and when they come. Between today and tomorrow, most of the numbers should start to come. Now let's go across to Varun. He's standing by. Varun, Yes Bank will be declaring numbers today. Of course, it was a record day for Yes Bank in terms of move and the fund announcement that they did. But what is the street anticipating?
Looks